Ah, yes, it's that time of the month again. That time where we gather every bit of wisdom of this world just to try and crack HoYoverse's upcoming banner lineup and kind of cheat on our current characters, but that's not the main point. The main point is we're on a hot streak. We nailed 5.7, nailed 5.8, and I'm pretty sure we got 5.6 right too. But let's not pat ourselves on the back too hard, because the real focus is making sure we stay accurate and correct a few mistakes I've noticed in past predictions. So today, we're diving into what 6.0 through 6.4 might really look like, including who's showing up in 6.0 and which 4 stars might tag along. If the character you're waiting for doesn't appear in here, don't freak out. Just ask in the comments and I'll do my best to clear it up. And like always, I'm not here to sugarcoat anything. If the truth hurts, just know that we're feeling the pain together. So yeah, this video is going to be packed with juicy info and the good old fun, but if you're still in the mood for even more chaos after watching, then that's where my partner, Emochi, comes in clutch. Emochi is an AI chatbot platform that does what other platforms won't do, because compared to others, their chats have no filters and no restrictions. You're even allowed as far as to customize the bots to your own liking, all free of charge. And yes, if you've ever wanted to talk to Genshin characters like me, for whatever reason, they've got that, with 7.9 million conversations. Oh my god. Anyways, it's not just Genshin. They cover anime characters and pretty much anyone you can think of. The best part, in my opinion, is that the chatbots actually remember you. That way, your roleplay conversations feel natural, fluid, and way more fun. So, if that sounds like your kind of vibe, then check out Emochi using my link in the description. That way you can download the app, or even use it right from your desktop. Now, with that covered, let's start by fully perfecting the 6.0 patch. In 6.0, we are expecting Flynn's, Llama, Nahida, and Yellen. But before going for the 4 stars, let's start by predicting their phases. And this is where the latest pattern I learned comes in. You see, whenever Genshin releases a new character, if there's an opportunity for them to run a support character alongside them, then they will absolutely take on that opportunity. Because let's be real, it means more Primogems spent. Take Skirk in 5.7 as an example. Although Shene had already ran in the Liyue Chronicle banner during 5.3, Genshin really just said, "F that, Skirk needs Shene," and for that particular reason, we want to place her there since we literally will get more money overall. And as I always say, Genshin is a company that is made to maximize profit. So if you want to predict them, you gotta act like a businessman, and luckily for you guys, I'm a businesswoman myself.
Stop the cap.
Now for the next and last example, I won't waste much time since I believe you can already see the pattern. In version 5.3, where we have Mavuika and Kitlali running in the same patch, since Mavuika is a new and shiny DPS in town, Genshin wanted to squeeze every last primo out of that phase by pairing her with the best possible support. The truth is, Kitlali was bound to run in that patch, but it would be dumb for them to put her in the phase after Mavuika, since it gives you more time to save and doesn't encourage spending. Remember, less time to save means you'll inevitably have to whip out your credit card. It's all business. So now that we know the upcoming characters in 6.0, we can easily arrange them according to Genshin's behavior. In 6.0, we have Flynn's as the shiny new DPS. He's the star and building block of this patch. Now, if we go to a website like Icy Veins, we can see that out of the 3 other characters, Yellen is his best in slot support, simply because Flynn's is built for lunar charge teams, and that playstyle absolutely craves a fast, consistent hydro applicator. Yellen just fits like a glove. So Genshin won't put her in a phase after Flynn's. Nope, they don't want you to have that time to save. And placing Llama or Nahida there simply won't work, since they have little to no bond with him. Therefore, in version 6.0, we can expect Flynn's and Yelan in the first phase, alongside Nahida and Llama in the second. And to those waiting for my confirmation, yes, in version 6.0 second phase, we will be getting the Chronicle banner for Sumeru. Moving on to the 4 stars of this patch, we have 5 of them revealed, Ano, and these remaining 4. However, that raises the question as to who could fill the last slot. Well, this would be a difficult selection, but that is for you. I personally find this very simple. But to make sure you understand what I'm doing, I need to explain something real quick. The 4 stars that Genshin run alongside the characters are made to indirectly support them. It's really that simple. Take version 5.7 for example. Skirk's banner only had Hydro and Cryo characters because her best teams revolve around mono Hydro Cryo setups. Makes perfect sense, right? While for Mavuika and Emily, you can see that Mavuika is paired with Ian-san. While for Emily, we all know she's made for Kinnage. And as you might have guessed, his best team for burning is him, paired with these 3 characters. And that, my friends, is precisely why Xiangling and Yayy are there. It's not random, it's calculated synergy. Xiangling provides perfect and consistent pyro application while still providing outstanding sub-DPS damage, while Yayy provides nice, undisturbed healing for the whole team. Genshin knows this and has no reason not to put them there. So looking back at this banner, we know that Aino and Sucrose are for Flynn's. That way you can complete the team quickly by slapping Inefa or even Yelan. So that's that. But to skip the long talk, I did all my analysis and Yanfei fits into the spot. No point in wasting too much time on 4 stars, right? So yeah, with 6.0 covered, let's go on to 6.1. This is where I have to correct a few things. From recent updates from leakers, it has been confirmed that Duran will not be in 6.1, but rather in 6.2. They are determining the patch by using their source code, which is actually quite brilliant. Nefer is 113, Duran is 114, and Columbina is 115. These codes will be arranged in accordance with the character release dates. But the funny part is that the leakers aren't the only brilliant ones here. That title goes to LD Shop due to their fantastic savings. With Genshin trying to suck our wallets dry, LD Shop emerges from the dust and saves us a whopping 35% on all your pulls. And yes, I understand the skepticism, but you need not worry because I, for one, don't use them only for their discount, but I also use them due to how trusted they are. I use them for my top-ups and giveaways, and they've given me absolutely no trouble. Even when I'm saving $30, all they asked for was my UID and server. And if you spend over $80 in a month, you'll be granted a Welkin or its equivalent in any 3 other games. So if you want to grab the best deal out there, then use my link in the pinned comment or in the description. With it, you'll get that sweet 35% off all your top-ups. With that said, in 6.1, we can expect Nefer alongside an Archon. Now listen closely because this is where it gets very interesting. You see, Mavuika, Nahida, and Raiden can't rerun as it'd be too early, so by default, Zhongli is actually the oldest Archon waiting for a rerun. Therefore, it's a no-brainer to simply place him here. Now with the Archon aside, let's get into the remaining 2 characters. This is where Varesa gets her first rerun. As we've always said, new characters get their first rerun 4 to 6 patches after their first debut, and in 6.1 it'd have been 5 patches since her first debut, therefore granting her nice placement in this patch. Even more backed by the fact that Lunar Charge is the meta, and she somewhat works with it, if Inefa is in your team of course. For the last character, we have Arlecchino. Now, to be honest, looking back, it still comes as a surprise as to why they didn't run Arlecchino in 6.0, but it simply makes sense that there's no space for her. So considering the amount of money she rakes in every time, and the fact that Citlali, her best support, already ran in 5.8, that's 2 patches before her, thus following the best support before the DPS rule, then it's safe to expect Arlecchino in this patch. It simply is a lot of reasons to, and no reason not to. So in 6.1, we're looking at Nefer, Zhongli, Varesa, and Arlecchino. Yeah, not the most exciting lineup, but hold on, because 6.2 is where things start to go absolutely wild. Because Duran enters the stage during 6.2. He's shaping up to be a pyro support, perfectly tailored for vaporized teams. And with that single detail, we can actually lock in 3 more characters. Because now we've locked in the fact that Hydro characters are in for a show, therefore he confirms Columbina for 6.3, who indirectly follows the support before the DPS rule. And he confirms Nuvolette for 6.2, since they'll want to run Nuvi at least 1 more time before Columbina. And it's even better when you realize that he's also going to get nice buffs from Duran. Lastly, we've confirmed Furina in 6.4 because Furina runs 2 patches before or after Nuvi, and since she hasn't run before him, she has to run after him. Now, to keep up the pace, we can also expect Venti to make his return in this patch, due to him being the longest awaiting Archon. And with all that said, it leaves us with 1 final slot, and that is where the final splash comes in, Escoffi. In 6.2, it'd have been 5 patches since her rerun, and also putting her there makes 6.2 a must-pull patch, because those who have Skirk will want to pull for Escoffi, those who have Nuvi will also want her as she is perfect for his team too. So yes, business will boom in 6.2, because if you don't pull Duran, you'll pull Nuvi, and if you don't pull Nuvi, you will be forced to pull Escoffi. It's that simple. But before moving on, I just want to appreciate all your help and support in getting our channel to 20,000 subs. It's really an incredible milestone. With that said, if you're enjoying the content so far, or just want to hop in for the giveaway at 25,000 subs, just show the video some love. Once again, thanks for the support, and without further ado, enjoy the rest of the video. Now for 6.3. This is where everything is quite simplified for us because Columbina and another female 5-star character are confirmed. Therefore, 2 slots are locked. Now don't be mistaken, Columbina is an Archon in this scenario. Therefore, looking for an Archon to place here would be a fatal error. With that said, let's cover the remaining 2 characters. In my previous video, Columbina was leaked to be a support, but now that she's confirmed as a DPS, everything changes. Why? Because Genshin almost always pairs new DPS units with a strong support. Since Duran, who is debuting a patch before her, is already designed to support her, the remaining slot will likely go to a neutral support, someone like Silonen or Kazuha. However, knowing Genshin's rerun patterns, they tend to prioritize characters from the most recent region, or in other words, the region we just left. That means I'm 99% sure they'll go with Silonen over Kazuha. Now, for the last slot, things get tricky. We'd normally base this on the second new character debuting in this patch, but since we don't know who that is yet, we have to rely on revenue income. And after a few minutes of checking, it shows that Skirk is one of Genshin's biggest cash cows. Not only does it make financial sense, but it also fits her rerun pattern perfectly. It will have been exactly 6 patches since her debut. Waiting any longer would be too risky for HoYoverse. As the longer they wait, the more likely people lose interest in her because of the new Nodcry characters. Therefore, Skirk is locked in for this patch. So yeah, for 6.3, we're looking at Columbina, the mysterious new 5-star, Zilonen, and of course, Skirk. Honestly, Skirk makes total sense here, especially since Askafi already had her rerun before her. And for those wondering about Citlali, well, here's the thing. She's already had a second rerun after Skirk, so expecting her to show up again before Skirk? Yeah, that's just not a reasonable lineup. With that said, let's move into 6.4. We've already locked in Furina for this patch, so there's no need to search for another Archon. Plus, we're also getting another new female character for Lantern Rite. Now for the remaining 2 characters, this is where the 4th principle comes into play. I've mentioned it before but never really explained it. The principle is simple. Genshin prioritizes the reruns of characters from the previous region first. When we were in Sumeru, we saw a solid wave of Inazuma reruns. In Natlan, the reruns leaned heavily toward Fontaine characters. So naturally, now that we're heading into Nodcry, it only makes sense for the reruns to focus on Natlan characters. Simple, right? Now, since new characters usually debut in the first phase and Archons tend to rerun in the second, we can start narrowing down which Natlan characters HoYoverse might pair with Furina. But here's the thing. Furina is a Hydro support with excellent Hydro application, but she doesn't exactly synergize with most of the Natlan cast. Kinich doesn't really need her. Milani grants us the same story. The only one she truly helps out is Mavuika. As such, I'll be putting Anefa in this slot due to 2 simple reasons. First, she's been waiting a solid 5 patches since her first run. Second, even though Furina isn't a Lunar Charge character herself, she plays a major role in Lunar Charge teams. So yes, Anefa is locked in for 6.4. With that said, guys, I'll be honest. I checked all the books, the forums, the hidden leaks. Okay, maybe not the hidden ones, but we really have no clue who the unrevealed character in this patch is. There's just nothing solid to work with, so as much as it pains me to say this, I have no idea who that last character in version 6.4 will be. It's kind of like math. You can't solve for X when you don't even have Y. But hey, as a little bonus, I can tell you this. In 6.5, Mavuika is making her return, and alongside her we have Varka. Hopefully that bit of extra info helps calm the pitchforks, at least until the next round of leaks. So if you haven't already, then consider subscribing, liking, or even commenting. It makes more people see the video, which in turn means my effort didn't go to waste. Thank you for the love, I love you guys too, and yeah, I'll catch you in the next one. Bye.